Hi everyone, my name is Fernanda and I am one of the librarians here at the Alameda Free Library. So today for our first chapter Friday, I'm going to be reading a couple of segments from Something Like Home. And the way that this book is written, which is what caught my attention, it's kind of written into little short stories from this character's point of view. It's about a young girl who's had to go through some life situations of where she's living. She's now living with one of her aunts. And along the way, she finds a friend, a fur friend. And she starts to develop a relationship with this dog and teaching it some tricks and trying to find a way to keep the dog in its home. And in some way, really helps her out a lot with the changes that she's going through. So I will be reading a couple little segments in today's first chapter Friday, and I hope you guys like them. So let's start with the author's message. So there is a little bit of Spanish in this book. It's fairly simple to understand, like hi, hola. For some other words that you may not know, easily can look them up with a parent online and then find the translations and maybe learn a little bit of Spanish along the way. Okay, so starting off with the author's message, it reads, Para mi mami, for my mom. This book was born from your idea. Te amo, I love you. Okay, our first segment is called Time and Space. The drive to Titi's house takes exactly 18 minutes. I know because my current Rubik's Cube solving time is about 2 minutes. And I solved my scratched up faded cube a grand total of 9 times. I can feel Janet watching me in the rear view mirror, probably wondering if I'm okay. And I wish for the 100th time that I could twist my way out of her too clean car, line my life back up as easily as the sides of my cube, erase all the ways I messed up this weekend. So that instead of driving to the rich side of town, I'd be at my parents' bright red food truck. And instead of a black bag of packed clothes at my feet, I'd be dishing up plates of yellow rice for my friends. Janet doesn't actually care how I feel. She's just here because it's her job. So even though she offers to carry my bag after we park, even though I'm sweating through my shirt and my glasses keep slipping off, I carefully put the cube in my sweatpants pocket, lift my bagged up things with my own 2 hands, take a deep breath, ignoring Janet, and start walking by myself towards my aunt's door and my weird new life. Did you know? Most birds don't recognize their family members after more than a year has passed. So it makes sense that I'm wearing my favorite owl shirt as I stare at a woman I don't recognize, but that Janet assures me is my aunt. Titi Silva is a doctor, but one that looks like a model. Like the doctors on those TV shows my mom won't ever let me watch. And even though I usually try not to care about the clothes I wear or how they fit, I definitely care today. And I feel her staring first at my hair and then at my wrinkled clothes, moving down to my socks and slides, and then back up to my stomach. Like everything about me is out of place, different from what she'd like. I don't know how I'm supposed to greet her. This woman is basically a stranger and who looks nothing like me. So I just shrug an awkward hola, wait for her to tell me where to put my stuff, and then I leave her and Janet talking and hide in the office, aka my temporary new room. My room that is not my room. Titi Silva's apartment is beautiful, but it almost doesn't look real. It's all white and clean and full of art that makes no sense. And I can tell my aunts really tried to turn this office into a bedroom for a kid, because there's a big inflatable mattress in the middle, and she's added a princess blanket that is pretty babyish and way too pink, which she probably bought because she doesn't know what sixth graders actually like to watch on TV. And if I was here for different reasons, I'd probably just laugh at the blanket and bounce on the inflatable bed. But the problem is, I'm supposed to actually live here. Titi Silva already mentioned something about IKEA and furniture as I slid past her in the hall. And who wants a temporary place to act like a forever one? Especially when that place is with a rich, perfect stranger who the social services people keep telling you over and over is safer than your parents, is a good solution, is someone you're extremely lucky to have offered you a home. My aunt that is not my aunt. I hear Janet leave and I pick up my cube again. Not because I want to practice, but more because I want to have an excuse not to talk to Titi Silva when she decides to come in. I don't care what Janet says. This is not where I want to be, especially when my aunt does walk in. She doesn't even knock and starts talking to me in soft Spanish, like we're not strangers and this is our shared language. Like she's always been around and this is a super normal visit and not what it actually is. All I've ever heard about my Titi is that she'd never lend mom money when we needed it, never helped mom out when she was sick, and dad always tells me to ask when I don't know something and not keep my questions inside. But even though I want to ask Titi why didn't you help when we needed you? Why did you wait until now to show up in my life? It's hard questions when you don't want to know the answers anyway. Hard to talk when your head feels like it's inside of a bubble and your body feels like shooting up into the air. Harder even than listening to my aunt's constant, "Hola Laura, hola mi amor." And so without looking up from my Rubik's Cube, I just lie and say, "No hablo español." Yo sé. The truth is, I do speak Spanish, a little bit, just not the way Titi Silva does. Dad was born here and understands it better than he speaks it, so I only ever spoke it with mom. And if I'm being honest, whatever we were saying was more of a mixed Spanglish than whatever it is that Titi talks. The food we sold at the food truck, I got you. Prices and customer service, nobody's ever complained. But Titi is fast Spanishing awkward stuff about her recycling system and what my new school will be like. And it's not that I don't understand her. I do, but not as perfectly as I did mom. And that's the end of the first 10 pages of this book. It continues on in the same sort of format. I think it's a very fantastic read. It's a short read. It's a book you can read a segment of every day or a couple little short stories about this little character here. And yeah, I hope you guys come by the library and check out this book. And see you guys next time on our first chapter series. Until then, bye.